Hello there, friends and kin. Welcome to Sundee Service. And today's reading is called The Inner History of a Day. No one knew the name of this day, born quietly from the deepest night. It hid its face in light, demanding nothing for itself, opened out to offer each of us a field of brightness that traveled ahead, providing in time ground to hold our footsteps and the light of thought to show the way. The mind of the day draws no attention. It dwells within the silence with elegance to create a space for all our words, drawing us to listen inward and outward. We seldom notice how each day is a holy place where the Eucharist of the ordinary happens, transforming our broken fragments into an eternal continuity that keeps us. Somewhere in us a dignity presides that is more gracious than the smallness that fuels us with fear and force. A dignity that trusts the form a day takes. So at the end of this day, we give thanks for being betrothed to the unknown and for the secret work through which the mind of the day and wisdom of the soul become one. To me, what this reading says is that every day is charged with profound potential. Giving us the opportunity to breathe life into the best of us and leave the worst of us behind. You know, there's several parables I can think of that I've heard over the course of my life that describe and elaborate on this concept. Now, Mr. Donahue, of course, likes to captivate our attention with very elaborate depictions of what we see before us. That's one of the things I love about him. He can take some of the most ordinary things and paint them in such a beautiful light, with language that has us staring at the mundane with a sense of awe. And that's his most potent gift. He wakes us up to the wonder in the ordinary and everyday. And his words that I just read is a gentle reminder that as each new day dawns, it is a miracle in and of itself. It is something of wonder in and of itself. And if we treat it as such, we can be inspired to work toward the wondrous within ourselves and to leave behind these truly small and petty aspects of ourselves that are governed by fear and anger. Every day we get that choice. And I'm sure several of you listening have heard the story about the two wolves. One good one, one bad. Which one wins? The one you feed the most? Again, there are many, many parables that relay a similar message. But that really is what it boils down to. The difference between a good day and a bad day is deciding which part of yourself you're going to give power to. And treating each day as a wondrous opportunity to give birth to something wondrous in ourselves, that's a tremendous power. And I hope we all use it wisely. I'm going to spend a moment to talk briefly about another subject. and boils down to why I come here. I wanted to weave that into one of my Sunday services Because to me, my relationship with ancestors, which is a very broad term, I don't mean specifically the people that I'm blood descended of. To me, the term ancestor is much more open-ended than that. Ancestors to me, and I've read different authors that use different terminology, but I'm gonna relay this concept to you the way in which I've come to understand it. And that's there's three different types of ancestors. And it's very possible for individuals to be more than one category at one time. But there are ancestors of blood. Those are the people that we are biologically, genealogically descended from. And then there's ancestors of place or land. And those are people that have lived on a piece of land before us. People who have been buried in its soil and have become a part of it. And then there are ancestors of tradition, or I also interchangeably use the term ancestors of inspiration. And those are people whose ideas, works, deeds inspire me and guide me. And again, it's possible for a single individual to occupy all three categories, or sometimes only one or two. But I do believe that it's proper for me to relay my respect to all of them. Now, in this cemetery, there aren't very many people that I'm related to by blood, but simply by virtue of living upon the land where these people lived, worked, died, that gives me a connection to them. And building that rapport, that connection, I recently ran across a very simple idea that accurately describes why this is important. Now, this particular author wrote extensively on why the simple sentence I'm getting ready to read is so powerful and so important. And we will do a deep dive probably on the Green Grimoire series. I'll do a whole episode on the ancestors and going into a deep dive as to why building a relationship with them is so important. But Robin Artisan, in this particular book here, The Witching Way of Hollow Hill, in this one sentence, he sums it up quite nicely, or at least I like his summary of it, the whole idea in a nutshell. The true meaning of sacrifice is and was that the dead could create a channel, a pathway between the living and the great powers beyond life, by which change could be brought about. So when our ancestors pass on and become part of the unseen world, the other side, place beyond the veil, place beyond the hedge, we're still connected with them. We're connected with them through the blood. We're connected with them through the land. We're connected with them through the legacy they left behind that inspires us and gives us vision and a sense of meaning and purpose. They are now on the other side, still connected to us. And that gives us a link, a direct link to the unseen powers, the unseen realm, to the other world. And when we find ourselves in need, whether it's of guidance or replenishing the land for healthier crops or whatever our needs may be, we can activate that link and ask our ancestors for guidance, for direction, not asking them for a handout. A lot of people, that's the way a lot of people approach it, and not my preference. Now, there's a lot of things about practices and attitudes in the past that unfortunately we'll never know for certain because, well, Unfortunately, there are people no longer around to ask. But I believe in the past, it wasn't so much about asking the other side for a handout. It was more about asking the other side for a hand up. It wasn't the expectation that the great powers are going to do for you what you cannot do for yourself, but more, they teach you how to do for yourself what yesterday you could not. I think that the nature of the relationship is one of empowerment, not strictly providence, or not providence in the sense of just giving things over to you. And again, Mr. Robinson, or Mr. Artisan, Mr. Robin Artisan, sums it up quite nicely as to how that happens. Our ancestors are our direct link to the unseen. And so when we're questing, when we're journeying for something, there's the answer. The people that have gone before us, the people that have traveled down this road before, rationally, is that not the best place to seek guidance from? And they're here. They enjoy our visits. They enjoy hearing from us. They enjoy the exchange. And they're here waiting. And there's nothing stopping us from connecting with them other than our own laziness or ignorance. And that's something that I work very, very hard to try to rid myself of in my daily life. Two biggest enemies, I believe, to my work as a spiritual person is ignorance and laziness. And I think the more that we act on our motivations and our inspirations, the farther we'll travel, the more we'll learn, the more we'll grow. And the more we'll utilize those opportunities that Mr. O'Donohue was talking about that each day brings with us to empower the noble within us and to conquer and overcome the petty and the superficial. And I think that's where we'll end Sundee Service. Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining me again. Have a blessed day. May the ancestors see you and may you see them. And may you walk hand in hand on a good journey.